Hey everyone, Melissa here and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a layout for the Hip Kit Club and I am using the beautiful April 2021 Hip Kits. It is Cut File Tuesday and so I've selected this cut file. I can't remember if it is from April or May. I think it's from April, but I'll link it below anyway. And it says Love Grows Here. It's designed by Kim Watson and I've cut it on this Pear Basil cardstock from the cardstock kit, and I've cut it on the textured side just for something a bit different. I do that every so often. And I was really keen to cut it on a coloured cardstock and not on white because that's something I would gravitate to. And so I haven't printed my photos yet, but they are photos of Ava with some produce. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use all of them. I have 3 photos in mind, but we'll see how we go because I have cut this very large. And so my plan is to put this on a white cardstock background. I'm also able to use the colour kit, so I haven't used it at all yet. In fact, this is only the second layout that I've made with either of the kits. Well, actually, I mean, it's the second layout I've made with the April kit, but my first layout with the April kit was using a mix of the March and April. So the colour kit is these 3 Nuvo hybrid ink pads, and the colours are mint macaron, lotus flower and powdered peach. And then we also get this designer 6x6 stencil from Carta Bella, which is absolutely beautiful. And I think I am going to ink blend this behind the cut file somehow. I haven't really decided yet. Papers that I have pulled out, I thought about going for like a blue and green sort of colour scheme with some pops of pink. So I like this one. I don't know if I'm going to use it to back my cut file or not, but I kind of liked it because it's got a gardening, farming kind of feel to it. It's got a glass house in there. And we have a veggie pod, which I will show you in the photos. Not going to use that side. And then this is from Garden Party, I forgot to say. And this is also from Garden Party. It's a beautiful blue floral. I love the ledger as well. And also from Garden Party is this sheet of cut aparts. I love it so much, and I'm sure I'll be able to get some of it onto the page. Somewhere in here is one of the pieces that I'd cut out of there. Also from Garden Party, this beautiful, beautiful floral. That's the B side. That may work as well. And this is from Bunnies and Blooms from Simple Stories. It's called Choose Happy, and I love this gingham pink. That may also work as well because it's got that green tone in it, and pink and yellow. Yeah, there's a little bit of yellow in this as well. I'm not doing a monochromatic layout, but those are my main colours. And then I just couldn't resist it. But this piece of Amy Tangerine Brave and Bold, I may fussy cut some of the smaller butterflies. I'm not sure. I pulled it anyway, and I've seen lots of beautiful layouts made with that paper, made with this kit actually using that paper. And then for embellishments, I've pulled a lot because I wanted to get the gardening icons. But yeah, this is the Garden Party stickers, puffy stickers, really, really sweet. Just a perfect finishing touch really. There's that piece I was talking about that is cut off that paper. I've got the Carta Bella Flower Garden frames and tags, and in particular there was that Plant Smiles Grow Laughter Harvest Love. So although I've pulled a lot, I'm only really looking at maybe one item from each. There's lots of gardening icons on here, so I definitely want to get some of them. So those are the Simple Stories Bunnies and Blooms puffy stickers. Definitely wanted to use maybe 3 of these Mother of Pearls because I haven't used them yet. I've even pulled the washi tapes from Simple Stories. The Garden Party stickers. If you want to see the full walkthrough of this kit, you can find it further back in my playlists. So I'm sure there's something in there that I can use. Bunnies and Blooms bits and pieces. There are other gardening things in there. The Garden Party thicker stickers that I haven't used at all. So absolutely lovely. Bunnies and Blooms decorative brads. So I've pulled a lot. I'm not going to use all of this. Garden Party stickers. Haven't used any of them yet. Bunnies and Blooms chipboard. I mean, it really looks like I've pulled the entire, all of the kits, but I haven't. There's even more. And last but not least, the Garden Party chipboard. So that is my plan anyway, and yeah, when you see me next I'll have the photos, so let's get started. Okay, so on Saturday I went to a crop. We have it once a month. I don't always go, but I took the pattern papers that I thought I would use as well as the cut file, and I often find it hard at a crop to get started, but what I did was I had a plan that I would back this cut file and do a little bit of fussy cutting, and that way I would achieve the purpose of getting this backed off camera, but I would also I guess warm myself up to getting into creating. And the crop is about 2 hours away, so south of here in Invercargill, and then we catch up. It's a few girls that I know quite well through years of scrapbooking actually, but only seeing each other a few times a year, and it's just such a lovely time. But unfortunately the time goes really quick, and my friend and I, we normally drive back at about 8:30 or 9 o'clock, so we get home at about 11. So it's definitely worth it, and I had a plan this time to get this done, and that definitely helped. So I've put those 2 photos of Ava planting the veggie pod into the circle parts of the cut file, and I love how that looks. My original plan was to have a 3rd photo as well, but I think I'll save that for another layout. So here I'm using the stencil, and I'm using some of that Nuvo ink, and I'm using an ink dabber from Close to My Heart, and I just want to have this peeking out. It's not going to be really full on, it's just a layer in the background really to break up the white cardstock. So here's a piece that I'd fussy cut, and it's a beautiful cluster of flowers and leaves from a garden party paper, and I always knew that I wanted to have it on the bottom left of the cut file, poking out and kind of overlapping. So I wasn't going to do that bottom left hand corner with the stencil, and while I was thinking about it I decided to add the central parts of well, I guess the cluster or around the edge of the cut file, and then I thought I might as well add this in, and I'm so glad I did, because I'm looking at the layout now and I can see a bit of the pink leaves and etc. poking out from underneath that fussy cut flower. So I could have cut all this out, but I thought you might want to see it, and it's made my video a bit longer, but I still think it's worth it for you to see the whole process. And then I did try to do the packaging technique with that ink. It didn't work very well, so I've come back in with, let me grab it, some Shimmers Vibes and Razzle Dazzle Berry, and this is from, which I think it might be from last month's kit, so not the March one but the February kit, but it's definitely from a HIP kit because that's the only way I get my Shimmers paints. So I just dropped some on and then did a bit of the packaging technique. I just needed something to poke through the parts of the cut file where the letters are cut out. I thought it would be a bit stark if I just left it white, and then I added a few splatters while I was at it as well. And at the very end I do some black splatters with some Heidi Swap Colour Shine just for my stash. I don't show that on video because I added it after. Sometimes I do that, I'll come back and think it needs a bit of something else, and rather than turn the camera on I just do it. But you do see most of the layout. So while I was waiting for that to dry, I didn't film it because it's boring, but I backed my cut file with the foam. I find it tedious. It's probably the worst part of making a layout is backing things with foam, but I just love dimension and it enables me to tuck things underneath, and it definitely is worth it for the time that it takes to give your layout a little bit of extra oomph. So now the fun part, which is embellishing. I have that fussy cut glass house and I've stuck that down with some dimension. I've got these stickers. I have to admit that, I think I said this in my last video for HipKit, that I was overwhelmed with the amount of product. And that could be because I pulled the packets and I pulled the stickers, and you can't really separate your chipboard and your stickers from the sheet that they come on. So even though I was limiting myself to kind of pinks, I say that I was limiting myself, but there is a lot more colour on here than just that. But I think I was just visually overwhelmed by having so much to choose from. But I do love how my layout turns out in the end. I think that it turns out very subtle with my title, with the cut file, and part of me wishes I'd cut it on white cardstock, but then I'm really happy with it, so maybe not. Anyway, so just trying to work out what to put where when there's so much to choose from. This little scalloped banner and the puffy gold is beautiful, so I've just tucked it underneath the word here. I've placed a ladybird from the Bunnies and Blooms. I found with the Bunnies and Blooms that the die cut pieces are the same as the chipboard and puffy stickers, so I'm more likely to use a puffy sticker or a chipboard piece just for extra dimension and extra texture, but I was happy to get, I think, a couple of those die cuts down. So that bow, that pink one, is a puffy Maggie Holmes bow. It's absolutely lovely. And then that's a puffy sticker. So I was just wanting to add some flowers on each of the 4 corners of the cut file. Yeah, so here's another, I guess, die cut ephemera piece from Bunnies and Blooms, a little black bow. It's really sweet. I love how it looks on the E. And then Simple Stories chipboard is always lovely, and I just had to use these little adorable fork and trowel, and I'm adding extra glue to the chipboard. I don't think that I think crepe paper is probably the best chipboard at sticking. I don't want to come back in a few years like I have with other layouts and found bits and pieces at the bottom of the page protector, and I wanted to cross them over. I just think they look adorable. Probably my favourite feature on the whole layout. So just adding more stickers. That is another sticker from the sticker sheet, and the thing is, if you want to add some dimension behind these stickers, you need to plan it out and add it, because once you stick them down you can't really lift them off, and I tried to lift the corner of the leaf and it didn't really work. Now this is another piece. No, this isn't from Bunnies and Blooms. This is from Carta Bella, and when I saw that pack, I don't know if I said it in the beginning of my video, but I absolutely had to use that piece. It says Plant Smiles, Grow Laughter, Harvest Love, which I thought went really well with a gardening type layout. So it looks a bit out of place at the moment, but when I embellish a bit more around it, I think I add a chipboard, heart, and a puffy butterfly, and then I add, off camera, I add some machine stitching on top of it, and that kind of integrates it back into my layout. So yeah, I think I said at the beginning, or I know I've definitely said it on my Facebook post, so if you want to read more about this layout, head on over to the Hip Kit Club members forum or the Facebook group, and if you don't belong to that, you can request to join. But I say, what do I say? What am I talking about? Oh, I think I mentioned, yeah, sorry. So this entire layout is inspired by the cut file, but also by the gardening type embellishments in the kit. And both the Bunnies and Blooms and the Garden Party have the gardening embellishments, and I wanted to use up not as many as I can because I don't want to overdo it, but I definitely wanted to feature them. So I've also got on the L and above the R a couple of gardening gloves, which are really adorable. I wanted to keep them together. What else is on there? Little pair of herb scissors, obviously the trowel and the fork, packet of seeds, a little pot of daisies. They're both puffy stickers, I think from Bunnies and Blooms, and obviously all the florals and butterflies are always nice to add. So there's a lot in this kit, and because I get all of the kits, I find that the Pocket Life kit has lots of little embellishments which are really sweet, including that sticker book, which has a lot in it. And they are translucent stickers, which means that when you stick them down, it looks like they have been drawn or painted onto your layout. So that's really good if you don't like the white edges of ephemera. And so they're lovely. And alternatively, you could stick them to white cardstock, fussy cut them out, and you've got your own ephemera. So I've also managed to get some washi on this layout. Hooray! I struggle with washi. I need to make an effort to be more creative with it. So I was going to tear some paper and put it as like a partial border on the top and bottom of this layout, but I decided to use the washi instead, and I also machine stitch that washi down because it just it won't stay otherwise, for me anyway, especially when I bend it over the edge of a layout. So that is my final layout. You can see I've added the splatters, and I also added the Bunnies and Blooms brads and some Garden Party puffy gold hearts. Thank you so much for watching, and like I said, head on over to the Hip Kit Club Facebook group to read more about my layout.